What up, guys? Back to another Oktoberfest beer. Yes, we're back at the Oktoberfest beer selection. Got a few days off putting out different kinds of videos, but today, new one. This is a Oktoberfest True Fest beer style. Look at this label. I really dig this. It's almost like Art Deco meets Oktoberfest. But this is out of Griffin Claw Brewing Company. Let's see, which is in Birmingham, Michigan. And it is a 5% ABV, so on the low side. This might be the lowest ABV beer that I've had for the Oktoberfest selection for 2021. And it is 20 IBUs. But anyways, let's crack this open. Get it pouring. And I'm going to apologize for the quality of these videos. I don't understand why Mac continues to put like the suckiest webcam into their computers. It's like, come on, man. Why is this quality so terrible? Like, I don't need a little touchpad thingy on the top. Give me a quality webcam. This is 2021, man. Anyways, okay. So here is that. This looks like extra bubbly. You can guys see all like that is. That might be the most, I guess, carbonated Oktoberfest beer that I think I've poured. Very clear. It's almost like you just cracked open a can of Werner's. It's got a kind of that kind of color. Very little head. But, I don't know. Get into the review, get into the smell. Alright, since this is the Fest beer and not the Märzen, this is not as heavy on that malt. You get the first bit of like aroma I'm getting a whiff of is a mild funk. It's got a little bit of that kind of dehydrated, like peach or whatever I don't know, my grandparents always had like those dehydrated, dehydrated fruit everywhere. And I think that once they realized that the candy in all the glass candy dishes, the kids would just run in and scarf everything. I was like, let's put some dehydrated fruit in there instead of, you know. Although the candy dish with the black licorice, we didn't touch that. But it's got that, yeah, so a funk, some of that dehydrated peach kind of aroma. A bit of like a damp wheat in there too. There's much more of that kind of traditional, almost European funky Pilsner aroma going on with this. I'm not the biggest fan of funk. It can get too funky for me. A hair is fine. This is right at that edge of any more, and it's too much for me. But it smells not bad. I'm interested to see what this is going to taste like, so I'll recommend it on aroma. But let's get into the taste. This is kind of, it's almost like apple juice meets Pilsner in here. It's got really that kind of, a little bit of that tart sweetness that an apple juice has, but it's also kind of crisp and clean in it too. There's a lot of that going on. So it's a refreshing beer. You could almost drink this when it's a little hotter. There's still some maltiness in there. It's not like absent of malt. It hits me right at the front of my tongue. I'm trying to pick out what exactly that the malt taste is. Kind of a like a bitter, pruny taste to it. Almost, I almost really want to say a bitter, unsweetened, dark chocolate. It's got a bit of that bitterness to it. Just the tip of my tongue. It's not extreme. You're not really picking up like a milk chocolate taste to it. It's just kind of that bitterness that you get from like a cooking chocolate. Like when your mom was baking cookies growing up, and you're baking something, and you kind of reach in, and you're assuming it's going to be like an M&M, and you bite into it, and you're like, this is disgusting. It's got a bit of that kind of just chocolate bitterness to it. But in a weird way, it works. It kind of blends pretty nicely with this crisp apple-y kind of thing. I'm not totally sure how I feel about this carbonation. It's almost like soda carbonated. I mean, it's still going. So, I don't know if I fully dig that. I almost like don't want any carbonation with this. But it's not bad. I enjoy it. This is, I think, my first technically fest beer. There might have been one in there earlier, but it wasn't really marked as fest. This is the first, this is a fest beer. And so it's the first one of the season I've had, so I don't have a whole lot of other things to compare it to. As is, for me, it doesn't really feel anything Oktoberfesty at all. But again, that could be just because I've had all Märzen's and then this. So, it tastes a little different. But for me, it just doesn't fit into it at all. Like, that hair of, that dab of maltiness is a saving grace. If there wasn't for that, there'd be none of this would taste like an Oktoberfest beer. But in terms of just general taste, it's fine. It's basically like a lager with a dash of autumn, kind of a sprinkle. A nice segue beer into the cooler month beers. So I'm gonna recommend it on taste. Not a glowing recommendation. It squeaks in. Alright, next category is value for price, and this is one of the more expensive ones. It was a couple bucks. I think it was like $3.50, but it's 16. I think it's 16 ounces, and it's a craft beer. It's locally made. So I'm just reading the side. On the side it says Oktoberfest style lager. On the front it says Fest beer style lager. So, I don't know. But, value for price, it's fine. It's one of the more expensive ones. Granted, not all of them are 16 ounces, so it's okay. I'm going to give it a half. And that's more because of the next category, which is distinction. I'm struggling to put this into the Oktoberfest category. Just, the grand, you kind of, you put in your Märzen's and you put in your Fest beers into the same kind of general category. This just doesn't feel like either. And it just kind of, I'm not saying that they're forcing one into it. Sometimes I'll have one which this is just straight IPA, and this is no business being in this category. This kind of sneaks in, and so, okay, I can go for that, I guess. But it doesn't really taste like the taste that I'm looking for in one of the Oktoberfest styles. I feel like it misses the mark for that. If you just release this as German Pilsner, okay. I feel like no need to label it as the Oktoberfest thing. I think it almost fits better as just European Pilsner or something like that, or Czechoslovakian Pilsner. I don't know what the hops or malt is that they use with this, so that might kind of dictate why they call it German. But the distinction, it doesn't fit the categories for me. There's something missing. I feel like it's got half a step in the Fest beer and maybe a quarter of a step, some toes into the Märzen style, and it's not quite sure where to go. And I feel like for this particular style, I want one or the other, not like a tap dancing in between. So I'm not going to recommend it on distinction. Next category is drinkability. It's it's fine to drink. It's not my favorite. The funkiness is a bit on the tongue, but it's more in the aroma than the tongue, than like mouthfeel. Carbonation, I'm not sure about the carbonation, if I like it or not, but it's fine to drink, so I'll recommend it on drinkability. And last category is would I buy it again? And not really. I don't think so. It doesn't fit in either category really, for me, and so it just it's just one of those things that you tried it and move on, and that's kind of what this beer feels like to me. Tried it, I'm moving on. I don't need to have it again, so I will not be getting this again. But anyways, that is my review for Griffin Claw Brewing Company's Oktoberfest True Fest beer style. What do you think? Have you had this before? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, do all the good stuff. And so for now, for myself and for Griffin Claw, you guys take it easy.